Well, it looks like we got a Taco Tuesday after all. I mean, I personally was kind of thinking he was actually going to go through with the bombing of the power plants and the bridges and stuff. I mean, eventually it's going to happen if they keep. I personally don't see Trump backing down out of this. Like he just doesn't seem like the kind of person who's going to do that, and Israel's obviously not going to. They bombed Hezbollah in Lebanon, or at least that's allegedly who they bombed in Lebanon, less than 24 hours afterwards. So that went well, and the land of confusion continues from April 7th onward until God knows when. I don't know. I mean, there's so many conflicting comments on this on the internet, like and weird ones too. Like I saw someone saying that Hegseth looks like a fool for his statements regarding the ceasefire because of what Israel did after Hegseth said it. Like, I mean, there's plenty of reasons to criticize Hegseth, but I don't think Netanyahu rug pulling him is one of them. I mean, it's Israel after all. It feels like you just have to hope that they aren't going to start popping off and make you look bad. As for the morality of Israel's actions, well, religious zealots are never something I'm going to defend, whether it's them leveling cities, child marriages, or Muslims lining themselves up around power plants. Speaking of which, Muslims lined themselves up around power plants. So, that's probably like the main reason why this strike never happened, or at least it's a very strong likelihood, I think, that it looks really bad, don't you think? Like, yeah, you can do it. Like Trump's always saying he can do it. He's trying to pressure them into capitulating, but it looks really bad to bomb a bunch of innocent civilians simply because the government lined them up around their power plants. It's just like with the girls' school that was bombed like right at the start. I mean, that was part of a military base at least at one point, but it's who's actually responsible there. I don't know. I mean, the left wing's immediately blaming Trump, some of them blaming Israel, but who's really to blame when they've attached it to a military base or it used to be part of it or whatever? I mean, how do you really go through with something like that? I don't know. I was watching. I don't really look at X very much, but I was watching the countdown to 0 hour, just looking through the taco comments, and it was so weird and surreal. Because it seemed like people. I say people. I mean they were obviously all Democrats, Democrats or Israelis, I suppose, because they wanted it to happen. They wanted the nuke to happen. Weirdly, though, some of them, clearly left wingers, they also wanted him to chicken out. They wanted him to chicken out, but they also wanted the bombings to happen so that they could. I don't know. It's like the left is always like this. Like gender roles don't exist until it's time to mow the grass, and then suddenly that's a man's job. They want to have their cake and eat it too, but they can't. See, if Trump was as psychotic and genocidal as they say, he'd have bombed those families daisy chained outside the power plants, and the Democrats would have creamed themselves in joy. They would have gotten exactly what they wanted, right? They proof. I mean, not that they need proof, but proof that Trump is just as evil as they say. So it's just super like weird. All these people just spamming on X. I mean, I don't know. I guess it is social media. It's X. It's what you expect it to be, but it was really weird that they wanted it to happen, but at the same time didn't want it to happen, so that they could insult Trump over both things. And you'd see that inside of a single comment as well. It's not like it was different people. I mean, I don't know. I watched a lot of weird AI clickbait videos from farm channels where every single title is pushing extremist ideology. Like every title is America's done, America's lost, America's bye America. Like literally every single video. But it's I mean, it is what it is. Like I didn't ever expected the war to end tomorrow or anything like that. I think anyone who would have is frankly an idiot. But I'm still kind of lost as to the purpose of the war. Like, I'm willing to swallow the nuke and regime change story, even though I've always thought it was a spoonful of sugar to help the medicine go down. It's pretty clear that something was going to happen in Iran at some point. I mean, it's been a powder keg for so long. It's going to happen eventually, right? And obviously, there are many side effects to the war, like showing power, a lack of power, how much certain allies are to us, and whether maybe they're not allies at all in some cases, or even exposing some politicians and civilian attitudes a little more clearly. I mean, just the fact that people immediately commit terrorist attacks in our country and other countries, I think it's important for the West to see this, to see that they're being overtaken by Islam. as for the true purpose of it, well, I'd like to say the best case scenario is Trump wanted to go down as the goatest of goat presidents and thought he'd make good on his prior statements about Iran. But as a businessman, he never grasped the psychosis of zealotry. He just tried to strong arm them and it didn't go so well. And this New York Times article that I showed earlier, that's suggesting as much, although it's an anonymous source, but it does seem extremely realistic. And a gut instinct that he had, he thought he could pull it off. He agreed with Netanyahu. All of his advisors, especially Vance, said probably not a good idea, but Trump said, no, I'm going to do it. We can get this done. He's always been going on about that, and Iran did try to assassinate him or whatever, so that's probably a bit of a reasoning too. But I don't know, people, they're just saying that he's a puppet of Netanyahu, which, like, I understand where they're coming from, and I understand the distrust of Israel and such. I'm not on Israel's side here, really, but or ever. I'm never really on the side of religious extremists, regardless of who they are. But I think it's more like Netanyahu who they sang a song for Trump, and Trump saw himself being immortalized as the president who brought peace to the Middle East. And despite how much the left hates Trump, and a lot of other people hate Trump, and I don't really like Trump, if I'm being honest, but I really do think that he intends to help people in his own way. I've always thought that Trump really wants to help everyone. He wants to give everyone a perfect life. He just wants his life to be a little bit more perfect. And he wants everyone to love him and think he's the bestest and greatest and give him the most respect. Like, he wants to be the Don. But I do think he wants to help everyone. I don't know. Maybe that's just a weird, twisted perspective of him that I have. Like, he's clearly a megalomaniac and a narcissist, but I do actually think he wants to help everyone. I just think it ultimately involves him being the bestest ever. And I think that was why he ultimately did it. But still, like I said, it was bound to happen in Iran eventually, and they were very weak at that particular moment, with Russia and China very occupied at that particular moment and weakened in their own rights as well. It's easy to pretend that you're chess master while slamming farts into your gaming chair at home, but for all we know, or at least for all I know, it may have been a good call. Like, people are so quick to talk about this being a defeat, as if we surrendered or retreated. As far as I know, nothing has actually happened. I mean, besides Israel bombing Lebanon and Iran accusing the USA of breaking the ceasefire, both within 24 hours, I'm not sure what exactly the USA has done to break the ceasefire just yet. If that's even real, who knows? It's Iran saying it. And obviously, Israel has their own goals, and you could say the USA should have stayed out of this, and I wouldn't disagree, as I'm not a prophet and I don't know the absolutes of the USA's economy and military status, but if you're a leftist, how do you demand the USA inject itself into the Ukraine and Gaza, but not in Iran, as Iran massacres their protesters wholesale? Meanwhile, Iranian expats in loads of countries say the Iranian regime is evil and needs to be destroyed. Speaking of which, now this is probably a bot. I don't know. It's an AMA. A lot of people are suspecting this is a bot. But I've noticed that there's, for Reddit anyway, there's a weird amount of pushback on that, insisting that it's not a bot, insisting that there are actually a lot of people in the USA, or rather a lot of good that the USA is doing in Iran by whatever they're doing over there, liberating it with bullets and guns and bombs and shells. But I just thought it was a bit strange because, I don't know, I mean, I guess it is a more moderated subreddit. It's r/AMA. They don't typically allow you to do the things that people do on other subreddits, the constant F Trump's a PDF, Trump's a Nazi, all that kind of stuff that they do over there and other subs. So I just thought it was a bit strange that you have a lot of people pushing back on the anti-USA narrative in this, fighting over it even. It's very unusual for Reddit. It's almost always just hyper leftisms. But I just thought it was interesting. Like, even if they are a bot, there's still this dialogue happening between people who are anti-America and people who are not necessarily pro-America, but pro-America intervening in Iran. And it's unusual to see. It's unusual to read on Reddit for I mean, well, I guess pretty much anywhere, since all anyone does is just shout at each other these days. But as for me, I mean, I see Iranians all over the world, in Canada, the UK, USA, obviously, and they're saying that the Iranian regime is evil, and then you have this pushback from the leftists saying, like, no, it's actually America that's evil. And they do that with Cuba, they did it with Venezuela, they're doing it with, I mean, honestly, if Trump were to back the Ukraine, like 100% right now, and send soldiers there to defend the Ukraine, I feel like the leftists would start taking Russia's side. I mean, they're really weird. Like they've started becoming like Chinese communists as well. Like it's super bizarre. They and like I don't know how much of that is TDS and like what like I don't know what's going on. Like how can you be against helping Iran's people and also in favor of bombing Israel to dust, which is what a lot of people are saying now. A lot of, I mean, I don't know if they're exactly leftists. I mean, they could be Indian bot farms as well, for all I know. But a lot of people saying to just bomb Israel to dust, and they're also calling the right wing Nazis. Like, how does that make sense? I don't know. I'm a bit lost on the reactions of people, as they do seem to be just whatever they want them to be. But as for me, I'm sort of nonplussed by the whole situation. I never wanted to go to war, but at the same time, I understood why. I mean, by and large, I'm sure there's some secret narratives. I really think a lot of it is just exerting some sort of dominance in the region. But I'm not like a lot of people sitting here saying that there was no reason whatsoever and it was a complete mistake. I mean, I think there's going to be some positive outcomes to it. Maybe some possibly some horrifically negative ones. It depends. We'll see. I don't know. I just felt like I should make an update video from yesterday's, because yesterday's was a massive question mark, and then we didn't get any questions answered. But I felt like I should make a video anyway. But I'm not planning on making a whole lot of war videos. I'm not the war tuber guy, unless someone attacks America and there's like some real reason to be patriotic. Like I care about people in other countries as much as I can, but they are people in other countries, and there's not really anything that I can do about it. So it's just kind of left up in the hands of the government, really. And far be it from me to say that I know everything that the intelligence agencies do. So that's all I've got. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please do the YouTube things.